Hi, I'm Tim with LFX, and today I'm going to get attacked by a dog. So today I'm at Cherokee Dam in East Tennessee, and I'm here with Canine 360, which is a training group and a canine training group. And today I'm going to test out what to do during a dog attack if you're armed. So these guys train police dogs, some pretty aggressive German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois. So it's they're going to give me a suit, a couple of different suits to try out, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to try to draw while a dog is attacking me, but they've said that depending on where the dog bites, it can actually be pretty painful. With the suit on, obviously it's going to lessen that, but we'll see. They said they've got different layers of suits, different thicknesses, stuff like that. So they said it can be as painful or as less painful as I want it to be. So we're going to do some stress inoculation, see what it's like to try to draw and shoot a dog that's attached to you. I don't even know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try some techniques out. So with a semi-automatic handgun, what you have to do is you got to do contact shooting, which means you got to put your thumb over top of the slide. And if a dog is really aggressive and really in fight mode, then you're probably going to have to put more than one shot on it. And to do that, you're going to have to do one-handed manipulations while a dog is attached. So I don't even know if that's possible. But we're going to try it out today, see if it's going to work.
Hi, my name is Robert Sutton. I'm with Canine 360 and Canine 360 Working Group. Started with a working Doberman, then I progressed into law enforcement canines. It wasn't until the late 90s that I became a trainer. We train everything from basic obedience, behavioral issues. We train dogs for protection sports, law enforcement, military, and personal protection. And we do just a little bit of everything with our two groups. We have a little bit more of a actual hands-on knowledge than the people who have only studied it. So it's a little bit rundown of what we do. A trained dog is going to be one that's trained to target specific areas of the body. For law enforcement, military applications, even to sport, the areas would be the forearm, the bicep, tricep, and depending on different applications, it could be the shin or the back calf to thigh area. The different areas were originally designed to incapacitate a man. The defensive dog is one that's going to be reactive to a situation due to stress. And some of these dogs have learned that if they act out by either snarling, growling, or actually trying to bite someone, that it will release the stress by the person backing off. The best way to handle those type dogs, one, to identify such, and to keep your distance. The fight drive is one that really engages into the act of, oh, I've caught you, now I want to fight you. And for people to understand that better would be watching MMA fighters. They enjoy the fight. It's not that personal with them, but they thoroughly enjoy it, and these dogs enjoy it. And those are the dogs, if you encounter, that will seriously do bodily injury to you, or even could cause death. Yo, enjoy. Move your arms some, give her a fight. Bend your elbow straight. There you go, give a fight for luck. Woo. Now pull your weapon. Now see if you make that contact shot. Yep. Good work. It's really going to have to do with shot placement and very precise placement. I've had to use lethal force on dogs before, and through experience, the dogs, when they're in that drive, their pain threshold can go way off the scale that you would think that a dog could handle. Even with a contact shot to the head, you may not get that brain shot that you're hoping for. And dogs, as they're losing consciousness, when they're in fight drive or in to an extent possession of an object, will desire that object even more. And the only time it will relinquish is when they go unconscious finally. So a follow-up shot is more than likely going to take place. And the other thing, getting the dog to be still while you're struggling, that it is a little harder than what it sounds. Fighter, struggle, now go.
That'd probably be a dead dog.
Yep.
As long as you could, you know.
Kind of good fight there. She's getting tired now, so.
Oh, she's just by herself.
See how that reinforced her wanting to not give
Oh,
up?
yeah.
Anywhere you go, you need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to identify any kind of threats, have exit strategies. When you see a dog off at the distance, notice the demeanor, notice how it's being handled by the owner. Is the dog pulling the owner around? The hair's hackled? Is it barking and growling at other people? You can see things ahead of time, so you can take a different path of going to avoidance. You don't want to confront an aggressive dog, just like you don't want to confront somebody that looks like they're going to do harm to you.
Good? All right. Kind of just lift up the comma. Go for the.
Whoa! There we go. She saw that hand.
Okay. So, we've assessed in her
Now you
case,
have
she
to go
saw
your
the-
left hand.
Yeah. She saw it. She saw it.
Yep.
So she adjusted.
Now you have to figure it out.
Woo!
That's some good footage too, man.
That was classic right there. Yeah. She saw it and she went for it.
Yeah.
All right, you want to take your
So
break?
that's why.
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right,
That's
try
what I was
to
talking
get
about.
off. Now try to walk, try to move first.
Probably a dead dog, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then you try to think through it.
Pulled over the arm and said, okay.
The first two shots missed. Yeah. Just to let you know. Your third one got it.
I was point shooting down.
Yep. Now try it. Been crazy when it was dragging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what dogs are
Close.
going to do. Yeah, odds are watching that. He was going to transfer off the back.
Close.
Realistically,
No idea he had done. Yeah,
Put your left-
if you've not done
put them on your arm.
Okay.
that
There you go.
dog could, he knows that dog is dangerous.
No, I mean, it's like, you feel like the Michelin man.
Your self-preservation says this dog can break my hand. Or,
You sat down, like you can't just sit like normal.
no, you're the Michelin man.
Yeah, the Michelin man.
That's what people say. It's just so cool to target bite. I mean, he just puts him where he wants him. That's, you know, the guy doesn't have to yell or anything.
a little harder. There you go.
See, and he's fighting that suit too, to just even get over and shoot the
Close.
dog. But he has to have that protection.
Down.
That's hard. That's a good picture right there. Yeah, she's got some really good pictures.
You'll make it any more comfortable.
They use Dutchies now.
Oh, can I help you? Hey, can I help you? Can I help? What can I do?
Oh my
What can I
God.
do? What can I do? Oh my God, you got a gun? Oh my God. What can I do? What can I do? Hey.
Close.
Made it even worse, didn't it?
And
And you can imagine somebody doing that.
Doing this.
Okay, so I've just finished up a few exercises with some dogs. One was a Dutch Shepherd named Fang. That's the one that attacked me in the legs. And the other was a Belgian Malinois. That's the one that did some of the arm bites. In both cases, I was able to successfully draw my firearm and either do contact shots or do some retention shooting, which I thought would have been successful. Even through the suits, the bites were really painful. I mean, really painful. I've got some pretty good marks on my triceps where the dogs latched on. Interestingly enough, the bites that were, you know, just kind of with the front of the teeth hurt way worse than full bites. So if the dog was fully latched on with its jaws, that hurt way less because there wasn't as much pressure. It didn't pinch as much, I guess, but that's not really a big deal. With the dog latched onto the left arm, I think with enough adrenaline going, you could do it. If it's on your draw hand, I don't think you'd be able to do it. Lifting up basically a set of knives that are attached to a 70-pound weight hanging from your arm with your draw arm and try to be able to transition, I don't think you'd be able to do it. Maybe with a lot of adrenaline going you could do it, but I just don't think that it's possible. So worst case scenario is if a dog latches onto your arm. On the leg, wasn't too bad. Back of the leg, it still would have hurt, but I think you could maneuver around to get that. And these dogs weren't, you know, running full out and jumping and hitting me with the full force. They were being guided onto me by the trainers. And I think if you've got enough stress inoculation, like if you've experienced it, just like I did today, I think you have a little bit, you know a little bit what to expect. It's not going to make it suck any less, but I think you could do it. Now if it latches onto your draw hand, you may have to try to fight as hard as you can to get it off your draw hand and be able to get that firearm out, or practice a lot of offhand draw. Practice it a lot. Practice your one-handed manipulations, because to do contact shooting, you're going to have to hold the slide forward, and you're going to have to do one-handed manipulations to rack the slide. So practice those one-handed manipulations. Otherwise, you'll get off one shot, and if that dog is still fighting and you have to put another shot into it and you don't know how to do a one-handed manipulation, you're in trouble. I think I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I could not believe how much energy I expended just by wrestling a dog for just a few seconds. It was incredible. I had my Fitbit on for the first couple exercises, so I'll see what my heart rate got up to, but I felt like I had just run, you know, a 200-yard sprint. It was incredibly exhausting. Other than that, I think I've got enough information to be able to put something down and at least give some good information to folks. Check out Canine 360. I think they would let you come out here and try this, and I think this would actually be a very good exercise for people to try out. That would be some stress inoculation to get you used to being, well, not used to it, but at least experience what it's like to be latched on by an aggressive dog. I think that if you're serious about self-defense and firearm self-defense, this is something that you should do. So give Canine 360 a shout. I think they come out here a few times a month, and you can experience this for yourself. So, Robert, I've just been attacked by 2 different dogs in a couple of different scenarios. How did you think I did? How practical do you think it would have been for me to do those exercises that I was doing?
One, being who you are, you have the mindset of survival, and that's going to be key to any encounter with anything or anybody. You have to have the will to survive. You have to be able to push yourself through the pain. I thought you did well. We put you in a suit. We didn't give you any other protection. You did feel some pressure. You did feel some pinching. How did you perceive it? As far as
it was the same. It was so there was definitely a lot of pressure. Like I spoke in kind of my afterthoughts video. I think the bite, not the full bite, but the bite just with the front of the teeth was much more painful than a full bite. I think a full bite, I could have stood there pretty much all day and let the dog hang on to me. But once it started getting me with the front of the teeth, that was pretty painful.
Now that you brought that up, being the suit, you have a real thick layer of protection. So the dog is trying to work in to get actually a hold of you. So at times it's able to get in more, or as you felt, the less is the pinching you feel. Going back to what we talked about earlier, the different dogs that you may encounter, the defensive dog, as I described, is one that's under extreme stress and is really wanting to bite, act aggressively to ward you off. So when they do come in, it's going to be a bite. It's going to come in, it's going to pinch and rip. And again, the best defense, see that kind of dog, give distance. It will not pursue more than likely. It's strictly a stressful reaction to you, and once the stress is relieved, they don't have the willingness to pursue someone or engage further. The prey dog, the more that you move, the more that you flail around, the excitement keeps them on the bite, and then the last dog will be the one that enjoys the fight, and that's the one that no matter what you do, it's going to stay on until you dispatch it either through lethal force or whatever means you can get separation between you and the dog.
I've just been attacked by a dog. Let's say for whatever reason it is either a left or I've shot it or whatever. The attack is over with. Now what?
Now you're going to have to dig deep inside you. During this encounter, you talked about your heart rate, your adrenaline rush.
Yep.
If it been for real, you take those numbers and just watch it go completely off the scale. Your body on the onset of the first bite or two, you're having shock kick in. Your adrenaline's already pouring. Tunnel vision's going to come into play. You're going to be locked in. You're going to probably stare at this dog. Your body is really going to take a toll on you. You're going to have to fight to keep yourself conscious, to be able to, if there's nobody that's around, to call 911, ask for first aid. If a tourniquet may be required, whatever first aid, whatever you have to do, you have to stay conscious.
Right.
You're going to feel like you're going to get sick, you're going to become lightheaded, you're going to give all the symptoms of strong shock. You have to fight through this in order to, be able to get help, and two, to possibly save your life.
Okay, Robert, we want to test out speed of dogs versus how fast a person can draw. So we know with humans, the rule is 21 feet. You don't let someone get within 21 feet of you because a human can cover that distance and, get in within contact range before you can draw and shoot. So what we're going to do is we're going to test out, see how far back we have to get with the dog, because obviously four legs are more efficient than 2 legs, and try to figure out what that distance is. Somebody may have done it before. I've never done it, but I want to see it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I wouldn't want a dog that I thought was aggressive within 80 yards of me. literally. In a practical world, if you break it down into feet, and because of the proximity of where you happen to be at and the situation you find yourself in, I would guess anywhere from say 50 to 80 feet. Anything once it gets into those areas, you're really at risk.
Yeah, it's coming in fast. It's a very small target. It's a moving target. So unless you're pretty good with a firearm, you're going to have a lot of distance. So it's obviously you trained a lot of dogs. I've got a couple of dogs. A human will not outrun a dog.
No.
There's no way. So distance is your friend, obviously. We tell that in the firearms, defensive firearms world. Obviously, I think what you're saying is distance is your friend in the animal world.
We all have the fight or flight syndrome. The hardest thing to do is to maintain discipline and not take it into the flight. If you're going to attempt to flee, you need to make sure that from the point that you are, that you have, if the dog is at 60, 80 feet, 50 feet, that you're no more than 5 feet away from your egress to safety.
So what you're saying is there is no flight option with a dog. You've got to fight.
Not unless you have tremendous distance. And when I talk about that, we're talking about you having a short egress and the dog being at great distance.
Oh, that's so fast. Oh, that's so fast.